Nikki M. James.
Hi.
So happy to see you, as always.
Yeah.
How's it going? How's life?
Life is great. Life is
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
In the best way, the way that I've always dreamt it would be. Yeah.
Yeah, the way you've always dreamt. I was thinking about that. Like ever since I first met you, you're like the ultimate like Broadway fangirl, nerd girl.
That's exactly right.
And I feel like it's funny, we have a lot of the same sort of like favorite things like Rent and Cats and Audrey McDonald and Carousel. And Little Shop of Horrors, I'm assuming, just fits right in there, right?
It was up there. It was really up there.
I mean, what a dream. Audrey, Little Shop.
It's a dream I dared not to have. It's truly, I don't know what it says about me, but it never occurred to me that I would play Audrey. Although, you know, like any other good musical theater nerd, I've sung duets of Suddenly Seymour, Emery's Crisis with like, you know, my best gay in college. But it didn't like, you know, I love this production. I love the show. I saw the Broadway revival in the early 2000s. I've seen the movie 8 million times. And when I got asked if I would be interested in doing this, I just thought, of course, absolutely. You know, like I had to like unlearn the songs, right, in order to sing them properly. You know, I remember the MD being like, it's actually this note. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, great. So it's been really fun.
So it just came out of nowhere. You weren't like sprinkling seeds and being like, I really would like to do this. I mean, sometimes actors do that for roles like this.
I maybe spoke it into existence, but not to the right people.
Okay.
You know, like sort of like, oh, I thought it'd be fun. You know, when I saw just the way they've had the most incredible actors and actresses come through the production in the smartest way. Just every single person who they've announced is coming into the show, you think, of course, this person will be great, and they're exactly in their way. No, it really did come out of the blue, and I jumped on it. So
I love it. You know, one thing that you talked about, you never dreamt it.
Yeah.
And I'm sure a big part of that is simply because white actresses played the role.
That's exactly right.
What's so beautiful about the role of Audrey and this production is, first of all, Audrey can kind of have any age, right? I mean, it's really fascinating to watch people of different ages. We've seen, you know, a trans actress. We've seen Jinx Monsoon play Audrey. We've seen actresses of many different colors and ethnicities play Audrey. It's sort of this just beautiful palette of, it's a beautiful kaleidoscope of talent.
I think that's because, well, I think there's two things working. One, Ellen Greene is absolutely iconic.
I adore her.
You think of Audrey and you see her in your head.
Yeah.
And so it's hard to deviate from that image.
Yeah.
But the truth is, when you get down to the text, like, you know, Ashman and Menken didn't write, she is a blonde, she is this. They just said she is a woman who's down on her luck in this sort of seedy neighborhood that takes place probably in New York, but we reference a place called Skid Row, which only exists in LA. So even that part of it is this like little fantasy world. And when you read it, you think, oh, wow, she could be anyone from any walk of life who happens to be in this. And that's the best part, I think, about a Skid Row or an urban setting is in all decades of history, that has been the place where there's been a melting pot of people from all over the place sort of bumping up against each other. And so I approached it just thinking like, okay, the only rule is who is my version of this person without any archetypes. If I could not imagine Ellen Greene, who would she be to me? And of course, I'm a theater nerd, so I make a few homages to her because why not? Like, why break something that's totally perfect? But I was like, okay, but she's also Judy Holliday. She's also Marilyn. She's also me. I'm a girl from Jersey. You know, like I like a leopard print. And so I found this character in me in a way that I think is really unique to me. And this production, and Michael Mayer as a leader and his incredible associate team, I said, so what about the accent? What about this? And the answer was always, you find her for who she is from you, and that's all we ask of you. So nobody is a copy of another person. We're not doing imitations of each other. And I think that's what makes it work, and it's what makes people come back. So many people I meet have seen this production 6 or 7 times. And you could say, they always say, and it's different. Every time I see it, it's different. So that's exciting to me.
Yeah. Do you think about, as someone who's been on the beat for a while now. We've seen you do all kinds of incredible things.
Sure.
A lot of things have broken open
Sure,
in terms
yep.
of opportunity. Do you think about like yourself as a young actress, maybe feeling more limited at that time and maybe pushing against walls, and what young actresses now, the difference in perspective?
Totally. It floors me actually every day. And I think that's why one of the reasons we talked about our love of Audra, and the first time I saw Audra, not the first time I heard her speak or sing, but the first time I saw her live, which is in that colorblind cast of Carousel.
Yeah.
And which was so beautiful. Remember all the little kids and they were all of different sort of race, colors, and creed who were following behind.
I love that production so
Just
much.
so epic and gorgeous.
Remember Audra up on the big mound?
Oh my God.
You can just picture it, right?
So
you can just
good.
think, singing.
Sally
Yeah.
Murphy. And that to me thought like, oh, my professional career, it's possible for it to look a little bit more like my amateur career. And we've talked about this, but when you grow up doing theater in your hometown, they cast whoever's around. I played a 80-year-old man in a production of The Christmas Carol, and I played Dolly Levi at 17 inappropriately in high school. And so
Where's that video?
Yeah.
Is there video of that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
VHS.
VHS.
I'll find it for you.
Get it
I'll
transferred.
Find it for you. But it's amazing to think about that. But then I also think about some of the times in my professional career where that wasn't the case, which I don't need to get into because times have changed and people's attitudes have changed. But yeah, it feels incredible to me that that I'm playing this part, and Jordan is obviously also a person of color. And when I'm signing autographs, I see girls and they say, it's amazing for us to see you. And they don't see the limits that maybe I would have placed on myself. But it's also, I look back at my younger self and I wonder what limits I put on myself about what other roles and areas of my career that I would have maybe pursued if I hadn't thought that those doors weren't open. So it's not sadness, it's just like a little bit of like, that's what happens as you get older. You realize every choice you've made is stuff you didn't get to choose to.
Right. So I love anniversaries.
Okay.
And I love honoring anniversaries. And you are involved in a very, very iconic show anniversary this year. And that is, of course, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. 25 years. It just happened. So the anniversary of the opening just happened, which means the anniversary of the closing will be any second.
Yeah,
because it was a very short
the day
run.
after. Yeah,
it was a very short run. That was your Broadway debut.
It was.
So you just had your 25th, did you know your 25th anniversary of being on Broadway?
I did, because
How do you honor that?
Well, by feeling, my knees. Also just feeling super grateful. I can't even, it's shocking to me that all I ever wanted in life was to be a part of this community, and that I got to be a part of it so early and learn a tough lesson. We worked so hard on that show, and there were parts of it that were beautiful, but sometimes things don't work out. And I went back to college and finished my degree. But that I am so lucky that, at the 25th anniversary of my first Broadway show, I'm starring in a show off Broadway that I would have never dreamed of doing, that I'm still getting to do this 8 times a week. Last night I was at Miscast, and I was sitting in a room singing with Leslie Odom Jr. and Shayna Taub and Javi Munoz and Stokes was in the corner, and we were singing Wheels of a Dream. And I just thought, I have manifested not just the professional life, but the friendships and the community is so special and strong, and how lucky I feel. Like, my level of gratitude surpasses like almost any of the other feelings that I have about it. It's unbelievable. And my best friend Tomar Wilson, who I met doing The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, sent a photograph. Someone found like a still of it on our anniversary. So it did not go without, notice. I thought you were going to say the 30th anniversary of Rent, which is also this year.
Oh my God! By the way, I know, because we're both like Rent heads. That's a big deal too. Oh my God! It's like so.
It's huge.
It's crazy. Yeah. I know. The more obvious one is there's a show called The Book of Mormon.
Oh yeah, I've heard of it.
Remember that one?
I do.
So that's 15 years.
That's right.
Look at all these iconic things lining up.
That's right.
Which not only means that show opened 15 years ago, but you won your Tony. It's Tony season, by the way.
Right.
Tony season.
Oh, man.
You won your Tony 15 years ago. I just watched an interview of me interviewing you backstage.
Do we look exactly the same?
I do not. I think I look better. We both look better.
Yeah,
We both look
agreed.
fabulous.
Agreed.
But I love that speech because you cried.
Oh,
And I
man.
love when people cry. You get so emotional. I love it.
It
It's such a good one. They had to play you off a little bit because you were so...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Overwhelmed. Beyond. It was crazy. It's like, it's a core memory that you have like total vividness and also blackout periods. Like there
Yeah.
are moments I have like flashes of like, yes, I will remember this moment forever. But for example, I don't remember getting from my seat to the stage.
Wow. It's on camera. You can watch it on TV,
I've seen it.
on YouTube.
I've
yeah.
seen it. I remember feeling, I was wearing borrowed Christian Louboutins and they were high. And I remember feeling like my ankles were actually like sort of shaking, like I couldn't stand. Yeah, it's the best. It's
So
the best.
that cast, that was a fun run.
Yep.
That show blew up, obviously. It's still running.
Yep. 15 years later.
And there's going to be some shenanigans happening there.
We've planned.
With the original cast. Are you involved in the shenanigans?
I am involved in the shenanigans, and I can now talk about it a little bit because they've announced it. So in honor of our 15th, well, I will say this. We wanted to plan something big for our 10-year.
Okay.
And our 10-year would have been
Yeah, that didn't work out.
2021. So it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And we thought like, oh, well, maybe we'll do a Zoom thing or maybe this. And it sort of fell apart. And so I feel like
We were
all of us-
exhausted by Zoom things. By that point, we were done with Zoom things.
No, it was not fun. And it wouldn't have been the celebration we want to be together. So I feel like we were all like praying for this 15-year. Like, are we going to make it? Are we going to make it? Because the reality is like there's economics involved. You know, shows don't run forever.
Yeah.
Unless you're Cats. And then you run forever and then come back a lot too.
Yeah.
But so we're excited about it, and Ann Garofino, our amazing producer, came to us with this like insane idea. She called Rory, myself, Josh, and Andrew and said, what would you guys think about instead of doing a concert or something like that, because we floated that, you guys go back into the show? And I said, sure. And Josh said, yes. And then Andrew said, Josh, there's no way you can make it through 8 shows of that show. Josh, you could barely do it when we were like 15 years ago. To which Josh said, you're right. And so we were brainstorming ideas, and Anne came up with this amazing idea of celebrating us and the current cast by kind of joining forces. So for 1 week in June, we will, they're calling the Mormon Mystery Week. We will appear on the Eugene O'Neill stage, in some capacity for each of those 8 performances. You won't know what you'll see and who will be there, so it'll be a surprise to the audience and still honestly a surprise to us. But we're in the middle of, you know, trying on costumes and getting sent vocal arrangements.
I love
and
it.
so we're like, you know, shaking off the cobwebs. Who knows what exactly it will look like, but I think if you buy a ticket for any of those 8 performances that week, you're going to see something pretty special.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so fun.
Yeah,
Something
it's going to be really
different.
fun. Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe people buy tickets for every night. The real
They
super
might.
fans. I mean,
And also truly like it's going to be a feat of like planning. Broadway theaters are not big. So I don't know where all of us will be, but I'm pretty sure most of the original cast will be back in some capacity over the course of that week. And it'll be really exciting. And I'm excited to share a little bit and get to know the current running cast. Like, it's amazing to think that we have this legacy, that we made this thing that we're so proud of, but all these other incredible young actors and actresses have been playing these parts after us all these years. So,
by the way, believe it or not, there's another important thing to discuss.
Oh, what is it?
Beyond Rent,
Wow.
obviously. Suffs is premiering on PBS.
Oh my gosh.
On Friday.
I'm having a time.
Yeah, no, you're literally like, it's all sort of like coming together.
That's
it's
right.
Beautiful timing. Because
Yeah.
you did Suffs on Broadway, got nomination for a Tony for that. You were fantastic in Suffs.
Thanks.
And they filmed it, which is
did.
a beautiful gift. And now it's on PBS, and the whole world can enjoy
See
Suffs
it.
forever.
And we'll get to see it for the first time. And we're going to see it all together. They're doing a nice little like screening in advance of the PBS special. It's really cool. You know, they recorded us for PBS Great Performances, and they are airing this in the 250th anniversary of our nation. And I think it's really special that this show is about it's about the ways in which our democracy is amazing and also challenging, and that we can make changes and that people can come together in community and like change the course of history. So it's like we have Hamilton, they changed the course of history, and so did these women, you know, gaining the right to vote in this nation for women of all colors was like not an easy thing to do. And Shayna wrote an amazing, beautiful musical, and we had a short-ish run on Broadway. It's hard to know, you know, it's not 15 years, but it's not The Adventures of Tom Sawyer.
Yeah.
The tour is going great, and, you know, kids will be able to see this. You know, my favorite things growing up were watching the great performances of, like, Into the Woods.
Yeah, Sunday in the Park with George, of course.
Sunday.
Yeah, Danielle Furland was in both of them.
My,
We were
yes,
obsessed.
that's right.
I know the details. We were
This
obsessed
is-
with. Yeah, I know. I know, I got you. No, just saying great performances. The fact you get to be part of great performances, it's like another legacy thing that you got to pull off in your incredible career.
Yeah.
I love it. I love celebrating you. And I love that all this is happening right now.
Yeah,
So how
me
long are
too.
you at Little Shop?
I'll be in the show until July.
Great.
Lucky, a long, long run. I'm still learning about her. And beyond that, who knows? And then, beyond that, who knows in the world? I think at the end of this July, it will come a time in my life, the end of a time in my life where I've had a lot of things in the works and working. So I don't have a new musical that I'm developing yet, really. And I'm finishing up my 3rd season of Daredevil that I've been working on for 3 years. So I feel like I'm going to have some time. I'm going to vacation. And then hopefully, you know, in another 10 years, we'll sit here and I'll talk about all the things that have happened from now until then.
I love it.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that moment. So good to see you, Nikki.
So good to see you.